All right, guys, we are here with another episode of the Coach Martin Show, brought to you by Impact Realty. The Yellowjackets are coming off a huge win over Holly Pond last week for homecoming. I got here in time to see the last 9 minutes of the game. Coach, talk to us about that game last week.
Well, Holly Pond's a team a lot like us. They're a little bit younger than we are, but I thought that our kids came out and played hard and did what they had to do. I mean, we got into kind of a back and forth game in the first quarter. In the first quarter finished, we were down 7-6 and we were down 14-13, and we got up at the end of the first quarter 20-14, and then we kind of put it away and ended up winning 54-20. But I thought that our guys came out and did what they were supposed to do. I mean, we were fortunate we didn't have to punt the whole game. Defensively, we kept on. We had to adjust to the speed and to the ability of their quarterback. He was very, very mobile. I'd said that before. Last week, he was very, very mobile. And, you got to adjust sometimes because we can't simulate that speed all the time. And so it took us a little bit of a while to get used to it. But once we were able to contain it. And offensively, we just, we put it away. We rushed for over 400 yards. So it was a good night for Glencoe.
Yeah. I did, when I saw that stat, I was like, man, they had a good night rushing the ball. Talk to us about some of those guys that contributed to that 400 yards.
Well, I mean, we you can't go without talking about offensive linemen, obviously.
Exactly.
But, from tight end to tight end, those guys between, Cook and Westcott and Huff and Rodriguez and Reeves. And when we look over on the left side, you've got Chapman over there, and then you've also got Prater. Those guys did a great job blocking. That's the first thing those running backs will tell you. And, all of them ran the ball well. I mean, obviously, our breakout was probably at wing back out of Aaron Mann. He rushed for 227 yards, but our quarterback also rushed for over 100 in Nolan Fairley. So, and then, Austin is our tailback, but Austin gets those hard yards up the middle, and he rushed for another 50 or 60. So our guys did a good job, and we spread the wealth, the handoffs. I always try to keep we don't want to be too heavy on one position. And so I felt like we were able to spread the wealth among those guys, and they did a really good job. And then defensively, those guys just did a super job coming on and being able to adjust to the speed. And then once they got their feet under them, they played really well.
Good deal. This week you stepped back in the region play, going up to Sylvania. Talk to us about what you've seen out of Sylvania so far this season and some of the things you guys have done to get ready for it.
Well, those guys, they are a hard-nosed football team. They run the football well. They throw it, efficiently. When I watch them play, they remind me a lot of the team that we played up in 2017 in the playoffs when I was at Ohatchee. They play extremely hard. Those guys, this team is not as big as that team was, but this team, it will come off the football on both sides of the football and play with a lot of enthusiasm, and they play extremely hard. And that's something you can't measure. When people give you that type of effort, doesn't matter how big or small you are or how, effort carries you a long way. And that's the one thing I've seen out of that Sylvania team. They have gone and just outplayed the people they've played. And they did lose to Piedmont early in the season, but since then they've reeled off some victories against some good football teams, Geraldine being one of them. And, I tell you what, our work's cut out for us. But at the same time, if we give the same type of effort, it could be a great game between two good football teams.
I agree. Watching the last part of your practice today, guys seem real loose, like they're dialed in the focus. So seems like y'all have put a good week of practice in this week.
Well, we try not to get too high and too low at any practice, and I think our guys are still learning about that. I want our guys to practice regardless of who you're playing. I want practices to be very similar, and I think that each week we come out and the guys have been doing a better job of focusing in. I thought there were times earlier in the season where we might lack focus here or there. Yeah. But last week, even during a homecoming week, I thought our focus was great. Yeah. And I thought this week the guys came and they dialed in pretty good, and we found out some things we could do. Yeah. We found out some things we couldn't do. And so, we were able to pare that down and, give the kids confidence to do things that they're capable of doing. And I think that we've had a good week of practice.
Good deal. Well, Coach, I appreciate you sitting in. I know you got places to be this afternoon. Thank you again. And thank you, Impact Realty, for sponsoring the Coach Martin Show this year.
And I appreciate it. Thank you very much.